Hey, welcome. I'm Chris, and this is the Salty Strikes channel. And today, I got something special for you. If you own a drone or plan on buying a drone, and you may think you might be even close to flying over water or plan to fly over water, you may want to stick around and check this out. Alright today guys, well, what brought me here to this point is I did have another Mavic Air 2, and you know, we do a lot of drone footage from the boat while we're fishing and everything, and I was just a little reckless with it, and I got a little too close to one of the fishing poles on the top of the T-top, and it hit it and did a little tumble right into the water, and that ICW was water was just flowing pretty good, and I jumped in after it and it sank so fast, there's no way I was going to recover it. You know, the one good thing about DJI is they do have a care plan if you do have water damage, or there's or you crash it or something, they will, it's only like $80 for like a year, and they will replace your drone completely, and I think there's just a minimal deduction for that, but you have to have the drone to bring back to them for them to even replace it. There's also like drone insurance, which you can get, but I'm not going to go into that. We're just going to talk about basically drone flotation and drone recovery. There's a couple different options, and I've got a few of them, and there's some I'm just going to talk about, but we're just going to there's two types of flotation I got here. These are like the pontoon style, and then I'm calling these the Christmas tree ornaments, and they're just a little styrofoam balls that go on each corner of here. So there's also some other recovery systems, like where they'll if it sinks, it'll deploy like a little float with a string attached to it where you can recover it, and that's called Getterback, but I'll talk about that a little later. But we're going to just talk about these two things right now, and we're going to do a couple of test flights, see how the drone reacts to them, having if it slows it down, or if it's adverse flying. There's a little bit of wind, so that'll help give us a good judge of how it's going to work. So before we run upstairs, I'm just going to show you how this thing works. And basically the drone just sits on this little pontoon thing, and it's got a little bracket that goes over top of it, and you should be able to access this little button, but it doesn't fit just right, and you got to put this little screw in, so it's not exactly super easy to use. You just want to get those nice and tight so it doesn't come apart while you're flying. And basically there you go. Like I said, the button doesn't exactly line right up perfect, like it moves, but and there's one of the negative drawbacks from it is you can't remove this battery without taking this whole thing off. I don't really like that, because if battery gets low and then a lot of action's going on, I like to get that thing back up in the air quick. But this seems like it's pretty sturdy, and it's not going to fall apart. But of course these pontoons are going to create a lot of wind resistance, so we have that. And with these Christmas tree ornaments, these legs just slide on, and it's just a friction fit on the front. And you would think, okay, what's stopping this from falling off? But these go on pretty hard, and I've tried tugging on these to pull them off, and the only way you can really get them off is if you grab these tabs and pull pretty significantly. So I don't think they're going to fly off or fall off. And then the back ones, they just have it fits and lines up right in there, and then it has a little piece of Velcro that goes over and holds that in place. And then, you know, of course, these balls have a little bit less wind resistance than the pontoons. So, all right, so we'll take a couple of test runs upstairs, and then we'll come back down here and land them in the water. See how that goes. All right, this is going to be the test flight for speed. And all right, so we're just gonna go, this is normal speed and normal mode, and we're just gonna take off. And we're getting about 24, 25 miles an hour. I think that's just because we had a little bit of headwind too, because we're only doing about 21 on the way back. And that's under normal. This is a test in sport mode. Full throttle forward. You can go to about 40. And then maxed out. We'll head back. It was doing about 35 back. We got a little bit of wind here. All right, now we're going to take off at the pontoons. It is a little more wobbly. And then we'll just do a quick this is normal mode, and we're getting up there about 24, 25 miles an hour. And then go a little bit against the wind. And we're only getting up to about 13 miles an hour, 14. So there's a good bit of wind resistance there. All right, now we're gonna do a sport mode run and see how it goes. We're in sport mode now. We're getting about 34, 35, 37. 38, so it is a couple miles an hour difference. All right, let's head back and $27, about max. So these things 28. So these things definitely are slowing it down. The one main problem I've noticed is when you're flying this thing and you look all the way straight down, you go left and right, those pontoons come into view. It is a little more wobbly. I can only assume that it is eating up a good bit more battery. So we'll swap out to the Christmas ornaments and see how it goes from there. All right, so here we go with the Christmas ornaments. Give them a shot. All right, this is a normal mode. I'm gonna give it a run. Getting 23, 24, 25, 24, 25 miles an hour. Heading that way. 26, I got 26 there. All right, let's see on the run back. $12, $15, $16, $17. Looks like we're topping out about 19. That's not too bad. Couldn't get it up to 20. All right, let's try that in sport mode. Seems to be cruising along pretty good. 35, 37, 38. Get up to 42. I think I saw 42 there, yep. Got to 42. Scoot back over. Smidget. Uh-oh. Line up with the tracks here. All right. Okay. Now we hit the throttle. 28, 29. Still fighting into the wind, and I'll get up to about, I think, 25. It's the max we got on there, and that's in sport mode. And I think I have the same issue with this one, left and right. And those balls come into view. But unless you're looking straight down and go left to right, it still seems to work pretty fine. But it's a little more stable than the pontoons, it seems like. It does wobble a little bit, but it's not near as dramatic as with the pontoons. And those are our test runs. All right, now I guess we'll take some, try to do some landing and takeoffs from the water. We're gonna take these and land them in the pool. You know, I'm not too keen on trying to land them in like the open water yet or anything, so this is a little more controlled environment. So let's check this out. Let's see. It's not wanting to land. There, it took a landing and it floats. Now let's take off. So it does float. All right, there we go. It landed. Seems to be pretty stable, more stable landing than the other ones. So you go take off. Well, there we have it. There's the pontoons and the Christmas ornaments, and they both do their job. They take off and land in the water. I don't ever plan to land in the water. That is not why I got these things. It is basically just for recovery in case of an emergency. Hopefully, if it does ever land in the water, it'll land upright and I can just go pick it up and everything's hunky-dory. But even if it lands upside down, you know, these things are going to be showing. I can't miss those, and I should be able to see these. They'll be sticking up out of the water. I should be able to still grab it, and DJI has that care plan, so hopefully they'll replace or repair it if need be. So I'm going to probably stick with these balls, but there's a couple other options for recovery. There is the Getterback, and I'll have that picture up here. And it is a little device that you can attach to your drone, and with a little, once it gets in the water, after I think it gets past like 6 feet deep or something like that, it deploys a little attachment with a string attached to it. It's supposed to float to the surface, and you should be able to pull it up. But there's a couple problems with that. What if this lands upside down in the mud, or maybe there's some stick or debris or something without, the line gets tangled up on it, or it's a little, cross-eyed, and the lines might get up and tangled in the propellers or something. So there's, a couple different things that could go wrong there. Hopefully it lands upright and the thing deploys and you can recover it. But there's another problem with, especially where I fish and use the drones, is like, I'm dealing with deeper water and current. Current's probably going to be the big thing. When I fish the ICW, the Intercoastal Waterway, there's a lot of water ripping through there sometimes, and that line is just going to drag, and that little buoy doesn't look very buoyant, so that might get pulled under the water. I might not even see that thing until like the current slows down and it can float to the surface. I see crab trap balls down there almost get sucked under the water because the current's so strong. So that's why we kind of steered away from that. And like I said, if it lands upside down or other mitigating factors. And usually I don't fish more than 100, or fish more than 100 feet of water. But if I do, then I'm crap out of luck. And so, that's why we're staying away from that. And then there's also the flotation device that deploys the water buoy keychain, and you can attach it to it. And once it gets in the water, ball blows up and deploys. And I saw some guys do a test where they attached one to a weight equal of it was a little bit bigger drone. It was I think a Phantom 3, and they put it down and it didn't deploy till it got all the way bottom. It took like 16 seconds for it to actually deploy, but it was already at depth, and the surrounding pressure was too much to compensate for the buoyancy of the balloon. It couldn't blow up enough because there was too much ambient pressure around. So, and they brought it up at a lesser depth, and eventually it started to float. But so if same thing with that. What if it lands with that thing upside down, or like that balloon could pop, it could hit something, or like it may not even come up to the surface because it may be too much pressure, surrounding pressure. So that's a chance I just don't want to take. So I'm probably going to stick with the Christmas tree balls. This way I can, if it lands in the water upside down or whatever, I'll still be able to recover this thing. I should be able to find it, especially these bright orange balls. And so that's what I'm going to fly with. A lot of other people have chosen to go the Getterback route and other ways. And there's also like how do you attach it? I found, but like when I was first researching this, before I went with the floats, I wanted something a little simpler like that because these just seemed kind of bulky or whatever. And so I was looking at the Getterback, and I found this guy on eBay who makes these out of a 3D printer. It just slides on here and attaches like that, and you can attach those kind of devices like that on here, and it pops off pretty easy. You just squeeze it and it comes off. But I don't think while you're flying it's going to come off or anything like that. Or if you did have that Getterback on there, you should be able to pull it. But like maybe for lakes and stuff like that, that might not be too bad. But for like the ocean or anywhere there's moving water, I'd probably stick away from it. But so you have that option. And I hope you guys got something out of this. It was educational, and maybe it'll help somebody in the future avoid the situation that I had where I lost my drone, and that was $800 right in the water, and I was not getting that back. So there also is drone insurance. You can look into other companies that will insure that. So that's another option, but that's a whole nother video. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Hope you guys learned something, and so we see you on the water. Bye guys.